Okay, Don, we're picking up again. Just a word of prayer. Kind Father, please be with us. Thank you very much. All right, so now we are going to jump right into Daniel chapter 2. Now, hopefully, you stopped the video and now we've started it back again, and you've already read um, chapter 2. You have answered the question series here, and so let's just kind of go through it. So, at this point, then it'll be a review because you already know that. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. Okay, so let's jump in. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians, the astrologers, the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dream. So they came and stood before the king. Okay, so they've been awakened, and they have been called to an emergency meeting. Verse 3. And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, evidently the language of the Babylonians. So he spoke in Syriac. O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we'll show you the interpretation. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If you will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, you shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. But if you show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore, show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, Let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know of a certainty that you would gain the time, because you see the thing is gone from me. But if you will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you. For ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that you can show me the interpretation thereof. Now the Chaldeans answered the king and said, There is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, no lord, no ruler that asketh such things. Bring this up a little bit. Oops, just lost my spot. Sorry, folks. Verse 11. It is a rare thing that the king requires. There's none that can show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men in Babylon. And decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone to slay the wise men of Babylon. I can move this over just a little bit. Okay, cool. He answered and said to Arioch the king, Why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercies of the God of heaven concerning the secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. And he changeth time and season. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge unto them that know understanding. And he revealeth the deep secrets things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and light dwelleth with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O God of my fathers, who hast given me wisdom and might, and made known unto me now what we desired of thee, for thou hast made known unto us the king's matter. Therefore, this is a wonderful story. Therefore, Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show unto the king the interpretation. Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah, and will make known unto the king the interpretation. Now that was a little disingenuous by Arioch. He hadn't found anybody. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar. Remember we had said earlier in chapter 1 that Daniel's name had been changed from his Hebrew name, which was Daniel, to Belteshazzar. So this is who Nebuchadnezzar was talking to in verse 26. Art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof? Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, The secret what the king has demanded cannot the wise men and the astrologers and the magicians and the soothsayers show unto the king? But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known unto the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. There's the key. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. So let's go down to the section where Daniel is shown and is telling the king what his dream was about. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came upon thee. Into thy, I'm sorry, let's start again, verse 29. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed. What should come to pass hereafter? And he that revealeth secrets made known unto thee what shall come to pass. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have, more than any other living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation to the king, that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. I can just see the king going, oh wow. Thou, O king, sawest a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold. Image's head was of fine gold. His breast and arms of silver. Breast and arms of silver. His belly and thighs of brass. Legs of iron. That would be basically from the knee down to the tops of the ankles. Legs of iron, feet, part of iron, part of clay. So we got head of gold, chest and arms of silver, brass, belly and thighs, iron legs, and feet, iron and clay. Okay. And in verse 34, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image. Whoops. I lost my spot. Let's go back. We shall not be deterred. Let's just go down to it. Here we are. Okay. Well, let me just stop it just a second. Okay, let's pick up again. Looks like we got it back under control now. Okay, so Daniel was telling the king what the dream was and what he had seen. That is, what the king had seen. So let's pick up at verse 34. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image with upon his feet. And his feet there were iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken in pieces together. So the whole thing came down and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floor, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. In verse 36, this is the dream, and we will tell thee the interpretation thereof. Now let's stop there for a second. I think that's just terrific that the Lord gave to Daniel the interpretation of the dream, as well as refreshed the king through Daniel what his actual dream was. Now the king has heard the dream, and one of the things that he asked of his wise men was, tell me the dream, tell me the interpretation. What he's got so far from Daniel was the dream. So let's hasten on. This is the dream. We will tell you the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the fields, the fowls of the heavens, hath he given into thy hands, and hath made thee ruler over them all. And then here is the first key and clue of interpretation that the Bible tells us, that God told Daniel to tell Nebuchadnezzar, verse 38, thou art that head of gold. So the Babylonian Empire is that head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom. So there's the idea. So we know we're talking about kingdoms. So Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom was represented then by the gold. There it is clear. And so the chest and arms of silver are the next one that's coming up. So thou art the head of gold, but one shall rise after thee that shall be inferior to thee. Verse 39, and another kingdom of brass, which shall rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom, that would be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces. And breaketh all of these, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet, part of potter's clay and part of iron, that kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou saw iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Let's raise that up a little bit. We're getting toward the end. Oh man, we only got a minute or two before we got to stop. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms forever. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, and the silver, the great God have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is what? Certain, and the interpretation is true. Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel, and commanded that he should offer an oblation of sweet odors unto him. All right, we're going to have to stop right there and pick up at verse 47 on the next video. Okay, picking up with verse 47. Sorry about that, but we got to stop.